live.
Any minute we should be going live here.
Says we're live.
Zoom, then here we go. Welcome to the day.
How you doing, man?
I am incredible. Just getting everything. So here we go. Now I can see you. Well, here we are. We're live. It's been long overdue. This has been a conversation. This has been an interaction that I've been wanting to have for weeks now. And it's just a matter of us getting our schedules together and us locking in. And hey, everybody, welcome to my page. Steve 𝗫𝘁 here. And if you don't know the guy to whichever way you're looking, left or right, to me, it's my left. It's Coach Peter Pessetto, the man, the myth, the legend in the coaching industry, in the priority management industry, teaching, coaching, developing. Coach, thank you so much for spending some time with me this Wednesday and for us. And I'm going to jump on my phone for people that have questions because we're doing Zoom right now. So if you're asking questions, I can't see it, you can't see it. But let me say this. Here's the reason why we're getting together, because I'm just going to shoot it straight. You created a course recently called Success in Sales is Simple.
Yep.
And we would be crazy foolish to think that none of us are in, like, if all of us aren't in sales, like, we're all in the sales business.
If you have children, you're in sales.
Right.
If you're single and trying to get a date, you're in sales. Like, I don't care what you do. You're selling something. You're selling ideas. You're selling eating vegetables. You're selling picking up, like whatever. You're in sales.
Picking up what?
Picking up anything. Shoes, clothes.
A date.
Yeah.
And I thought about this because I've known you now for a little over 18 months, and our relationship, it's no wonder that we have such a great connection because our alignment in our life's vision is very, very similar.
Yeah.
We want to create more success for people in less amount of time. And we want to collapse people's time, the effort, the energy they have to put in to make all the errors, all the failures, all the mistakes that we've already made in our industry, in our lifestyle, in our, development of who we are. So it's incredible what you've done with this course, because when I started watching this, I'm like, why are more people not viewing this? They're not like, and again, it just came out, so I want to give it a fair opportunity. And I want people that are going to be watching this to understand that life can be so much better, like so much easier, let's say, when it comes to making transactions or transitions, or we'll call it overall selling.
Well, so I think two other places that you and I are in alignment that we do really well is, number one, you and I have no desire to get people sort of addicted to working with us or coaching with us. Our attitude is we almost want to work ourselves out of a job.
Yeah.
I know Steve 𝗫𝘁 well enough, whether or not you believe me. Steve would rather see everybody in the world fit and at their right body weight and living a healthy life and no vices and never be able to make a dime again. He'd much rather see that in the world than to have what he's doing. But we don't want people addicted to us. The other thing that you and I are in alignment on is we get passionate about helping people. A lot of people are already bringing enough energy to be successful. They're not putting it in the right area. And we're just like, just take this and just shift it over here and put a little education behind it, put a little, put active choices behind it. And you got it, right? Like that's what we're passionate about, is just helping people that they're hitting a wall. They don't understand why they're hitting a wall. And no one's ever told them. They don't know what they don't know.
Right. And you said something in your course as I was watching it, and I was just like, it's that aha moment. The challenge is, like you said, we all have the energy. The energy is being misguided. It's being misdirected into an area where we're not seeing the fruits of the tree. We're not seeing the results, the byproduct of what we expect. So we start getting frustrated, we get a little razzled, but it really comes down to the foundations, right? It's the roots of the tree that we need to cultivate. And it's
100%.
Right. So share just a little bit about that energy aspect, because the energy does transfer. Like, energy is the sale.
Yeah, sale is the transfer of energy. And the way that I explain this to people, because I think a lot of people can either have had this experience or they can relate to this experience, is you go to a restaurant, and it's a restaurant, and you kind of already know what your favorite meal is there at that restaurant. You get there, you know what you want to order. You don't even get the menu. And the waiter or waitress comes over and they start talking about the specials. And they're so stinking excited about one of the specials. You're like, I'll have that. Well, and what it was, a sale got made because their energy was higher about that special than your energy was higher about whatever it is you were going to order. But they came over and they were so excited. You're like, hell yeah, I want that. And so that's the transfer of energy. People are putting so much energy into creating more opportunities as opposed to putting the energy into completing and helping close more of the opportunities that they currently have. I would rather you work on, closing more of opportunities. Let's just say you get 10% of all the opportunities you get. Don't go out and create more opportunities, because that takes so much more work. And at some point you run out of time. Whereas if you put the effort into closing more opportunities and now you're at 20%, now I'm doubling my sales in the same amount of time, because I'm still talking to these people. I'm still having conversations. I'm closing them faster. I'm handling objections faster. And the great salespeople that I've always been around put so much effort into how to have the conversation, how to ask the question. That's why they make more sales, not because they get more opportunities, because they close more of the opportunities that they get.
Absolutely. And I'm going to quote you on something, because this resonates exactly with what you're saying, is that when you say enough of the right things to the right people, right, in the right way, enough times,
yeah,
like, what's going to happen? Eventually, you're going to build a relationship, because it is relationship based as well. And now you have acquired a customer. Maybe it is that relationship. Maybe it is that referral business. Maybe it is your child finally understanding that if they're bringing toys out, that the expectation is to put them away when they're done using them.
Right.
Because you've said it enough times in the way they need to hear it to the right audience. And the audience is your child, or maybe it's a coworker, or it's a sibling. So I love how you said that, because you just, again, success in sales is simple. And when people hear sales, I'm going to just go off on a tangent for a quick second here. What is your feeling? Why do you think, or what would be the reason why there might be a stigma against the word sales?
I think all of us, and as a coach that's worked predominantly, just exclusively with people that work in sales, virtually everyone, and you have even said this to me at one point, is I don't want to sound salesy.
Yep.
And it's not. And what you have to understand is that everyone at some point in life has experienced a salesperson that they didn't like, was too pushy, was too this, was too that. And so they have this stigma against being that person. So now they equate the word sale with that person. As opposed to, if we looked at a great mentor like you and I, if I looked at one of our conversations where you helped me understand my nutrition better, you made a sale on that call. We don't call it a sale, though.
Yep.
You weren't necessarily selling me something. You were getting me to buy into that information, because as soon as I bought into it, I owned it. And once I made that sale, and once I understood that nutrition, then that piece fell in place. We don't call that a sale. And it's as much as a sale as the guy that's at, Best Buy or H.H. Gregg that's like, buy this TV, you need to buy this TV. What if you have this TV?
You know how I overcame that, Coach?
How'd you do that?
I convinced myself, and I say that with conviction, that sales is serving. Sales is serving people. It's giving them the opportunity to make a decision if it's going to be my service or my product is going to be the right thing for them.
Yeah.
So based on the emotion that we can create.
Well, and the last thing that either of us want is to sell somebody a product that they don't need. Right. You don't want to sell somebody one of your programs that they don't need, and I don't want to do that either. And that's where asking questions comes in, because I have told people, and there's probably people watching right now, I've told them, like, I'm not the right coach for you, or I'm not this. Could I have sold them a coaching program? 100%. It wouldn't have been doing right by them. And I found that out by asking questions and just being present in a conversation, being a human being.
Yeah, the questioning in itself, like when you taught me the hierarchy of questions, it immediately changed my game because I didn't realize I was doing it as much as I was, but it brought so much more awareness to how I'm asking questions to get more engagement of energy from whomever I'm having that conversation with.
Right.
Right. So, avoiding or really preventing us asking the question, why? Why? Because again, we're gonna get a very low energy response from that. It's a very
Buddy, why would you leave your toys all over the place?
I don't know.
Right. As opposed to, buddy, if you came out in the middle of the night and were on the way to the bathroom and you stepped on one of your toys and hurt your foot, do you want that to happen? No. Okay, so what do you think we should do to make sure that that doesn't happen? Put the toys away. It's the same thing with just using questions, right? I just made a sale because now he understands what could happen if he doesn't put his toys away.
How is he doing, by the way?
He's awesome, man.
He's
freaking awesome.
We gotta get my son and your son to connect more and have a conversation like this.
Yeah, man.
It's awesome. So what's been the feedback thus far from the sales course that you launched?
It's honestly been wonderful. So when I sat down to write the class, obviously I've done so many calls where I'm working with people in all different sales capacities, and I wanted to package it as simple as possible. And there's an old expression talked about a president who, it was a famous quote. He said, "I apologize for the long letter. If I had more time, I would have written you a shorter one." And that's what happens is when we don't know what to say, we talk and talk and talk. And so I really put as much energy as I could into boiling it down as simple as possible. And to the point where I thought it was almost too simple. And yet everyone that's seen it so far has come back and they're like, oh my God, how did you put so much information into such a little time? And that's what I wanted. I wanted to, I do better. I know how my brain works. When I can see the overall view of something and the simplistic of it, then my mind gets it and I can take action. I think that's the same way for a lot of people. And so I put that energy into making it simple. And I wanted it to be a resource that, once you buy the class, it's yours. You have it forever.
Yeah.
That they could always go back to it and go, all right, I had this opportunity. It didn't quite happen. Let me go back and watch this section. Could I have asked a different question? Could I have done this better? And the people that are using it already, these are people that have already worked with me one-on-one and other programs, and they're like, oh my God, this is amazing. I needed this so bad.
Well, let me tell you what I got out of it real quick. And there's so many things, by the way. I mean, the amount of energy and care and production and just the content you put together is incredible. That's why I'm sharing this. That's why I'm getting you on live right now.
I appreciate it, man.
Because
you're a multiplier and I love you.
It'd be selfish. Like, I'd be crazy not to share this with the people on my bus, the people in my environment, my Facebook friends. I'm going to post this on YouTube. So I want the message to get out there that the selling aspect of it, or maybe we can call it persuasion, or it's influence, or it's conviction, or whatever it is, it's really, really simple. But what I got out of it was, because again, 18 months plus, we've had this, we've known each other.
We've had lots of offline conversations and online conversations.
I mean, my best conversations are with you. Like I have my best conversations with Coach Peter. There's a handful of people I can count on one hand that I just get the goosebumps when I have just a one-on-one conversation with. But how congruent you are in your message with a lot of your material. Yeah. And you've heard me say this before, like you come across by just simplifying the content. The content is the star. Like, yeah. Not to discredit you, because you deliver it in such a way that it's simplistic and it's enjoyable and we can really resonate with it. But the content is the star, and so much of what you've taught me and us and the people on our bus over the last 18 plus months from when I've known you, it ties into this perfectly. It's the laws, it's the hierarchy of questions, it's the creating the habits, the 4 stages of competency and creating habits. So all those line up so well with this. And I can't thank you enough for putting this together, because I know it's going to help so many people. It's changed my life. It literally has. Like, the pieces that are put in this, it has changed the way that I have conversations with people, how I look at it from now. Selling is serving, and allowing myself to provide that energy for people that are going to deserve it. And, it's exciting. So out of the entire course, and it's not real long. How long is the course in its entirety?
Maybe a little over an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, for those that are watching, it's several pre-recorded classes, and the longest class, the several pre-recorded videos, and I got all the information in there, and the slides are in there. You can slow it down and take one apart, or you can watch it, straight through. I think the longest of the lessons might be 14 or 15 minutes. There's, 6 to 8 minutes long.
It's a really easy watch, really easy watch, and super educational, and you make it.
Well, and I've also learned like how our brain can focus, and that's why I cut it down and didn't make it one long thing, so that people could go in and focus, watch this, do the lesson, do the exercises, bring energy to it, step back, come back to it, whatever you want to do. It's just been amazing. And you and I were talking before we got online. I haven't taught you a lot new in the last 18 months. You've learned, I didn't dump everything on you the first day. And I've always kind of come back to the same things. We're just looking at other places where you apply it. And my favorite is when I'm talking to you and you're like, oh my God, yeah, you said this about this. Holy cow, I didn't even think I could use that over here. And yet, yeah.
Yeah, so the message is extremely congruent. What are you most enthusiastic about with this course? Like, what's the one thing that you're just like, man, if everybody could see this one piece that just makes you so enthusiastic or enthused, what would it be?
The exercises around asking questions, I really broke it down so that I don't care who you are. I don't care what you sell. I don't care what your database looks like. Your sphere of influence, people in your life. The exercises are going to give you phenomenal results, and you're never going to not sound like you. You know what I mean? I don't, you know me that well enough. I don't want people that just are parrots of what Peter said, because Peter doesn't work in this area over here. You don't sound like Peter, and Peter doesn't sound like you. Like,
what? Peter want a parrot?
Yeah.
Peter want a parrot?
Helping people like really raise their game like instantly. In fact, one of my coaching clients, she saw it within a week. She closed a bunch more opportunities that she was working on just from this, and that's the whole point, is your sales are going to go up. You already have a certain amount of opportunities. It's just closing them at a higher level. So the exercises around that. And then I think the exercises around understanding influence versus audience. That's a big one that I think people miss. And I was excited as I was writing it out. I just really hit me. And where you have smaller audience, you have a large influence with, how when we go out on Facebook, we have a huge audience, and yet we have a small influence with them.
Right. Yeah, I took that away as well. It's, I'll tell you one thing that I took a little note here. The one thing that you create the right thing to do and right thing not to do type of list. Like what?
Yeah, that was me, man. I had to get that out because I get super frustrated seeing people do it the wrong way. So I was like, let me just get this out of the way up front. And the beginning is telling everybody, like, don't do this.
Yeah, and the one thing I consistently catch myself doing, you probably see when I'm putting out my videos or content, is always focusing on the features and the benefits. It's features. It's because I'm so enthusiastic. I'm so passionate about people living their best body to the greatest of their potential, that I'm always looking for the bright side. I'm always looking for the joy and the like the pleasure. The pain versus pleasure.
Right.
The pain versus pleasure. I didn't realize 90% of it is going to be driven going away from pain.
Yeah, people don't people don't get into diets or get into exercise because they want to have the six-pack abs. They get into diet and exercise because they stepped on a scale and didn't like the number they saw. They put on a pair of pants that they love and they didn't like the way they felt in them. They saw themselves in a picture and they were like, hell no, I don't want to look like that anymore. That's what gets people into action. You know, everyone says they want the six-pack abs that goes on the front of health fitness. And what gets them into action is the pain of not liking the way they look, not liking the way they feel, not liking the number they see on the scale.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'm going to do this. Let's wrap this up. We spent a solid 20 minutes going over, what you've been producing. I want to put the link below. Okay. So if anyone wants to join the course, it's probably not even fair that they're getting it for that type of investment. It's legitimately not even fair.
Oh, I know, like, unless you're selling a pencil, number 2 pencils that have like a 2-cent, profit margin, I promise you, this class will pay for itself within probably a week to 2, as long as you're bringing energy to the exercises. So I went out and bought the domain successinsalesissimple.com.
Bam.
So just go to successinsalesissimple.com. I put the whole presentation, the slides that I did for the presentation for free, so people can scroll through and see what we cover. And then in the program, you can really hear me coaching to these slides, because you know me, like, I talk, there's one slide, there might be 10 words, but I talk for 5 minutes on that one slide.
No, you do a phenomenal job just verbalizing the details of those slides. It's awesome. Like, there's notes to be taken, but you do a lot of the verbal cues and demonstration on there. So, okay, so one last thing, one last question for you. And this is more, not for me, but it's for everybody else that's watching this here, closing it out, because I'm going to go hit the gym, go get my exercise on, is what should people expect when they sign up for this course?
They'll immediately have access to the program. So, I mean, it's 10:52. If you bought it right now by 10:53, you can jump into the exercises and start seeing it. I would say this, and this is sort of the coach in me, and this is sort of the son of my dad, because my dad taught me this my entire life. You're only going to get out what you put in. There will be people that will buy this program and they'll do nothing with it. Don't expect anything. There will be people that buy this program and really bring energy to the exercises. And I guarantee if you're bringing real energy to this exercises, you're going to have real results. And why can I guarantee that? Because that's what I'm seeing from everyone that's bringing energy to the exercises. So I would say your results are going to be in direct parallel with the amount of energy you bring to it. And look, we've got friends, D. Davidson, we've got people that do a lot of selling. This D doubled her sales last year, and she reduced her hours that she worked every week. And, and everything that I've been teaching her and teaching you, like, I just wanted everyone to have this, because not everyone can afford that one-on-one every single week coaching time. And I wanted everyone to have this information.
So what I'm hearing is that it's not enough to be at the right place at the right time, Coach, right? You have to be the right person at the right place at the right time to give the energy so that you get the return on your investment.
Yeah, I mean, you bring energy to it. And I pre-recorded it because I know a lot of people's schedules are all over the place right now. And I wanted them to be able to have access to it 24/7. That was why I did the pre-recording, because I can't always be available for a coaching call. And I didn't want somebody's results to suffer because I couldn't be available.
Well, let me tell you what you did? You knocked it out of the park.
Oh, Coach, thank you, brother.
Knocked it out of the park. So, hey,
let's go.
Let's go. I am fired up to share this message with everybody else that's in my circle and my influence on my bus. Thank you for the time and energy you put into not only the course, but for being here with me today and for being with us. We'll probably answer some questions as we're going along. But, hey, let's make this a day worth repeating. And I assure you, this will not be the last time that we're doing this.
100%, Coach. Love you, man. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate you, brother.
Let's go.
You're on my bus.
Woo-hoo!
See you, brother.
See ya.
Bye.